everyone, welcome back to the Voyage Cast. As always, I am Eddie, and today I want to tackle a little bit of a different story that shows how fear and outrage, I think, can, just turn us into kind of
crazy people
and miss the point, miss the mark. You've probably heard recently from RFK Jr. from the Department of Health and Human Services, where he's raising concerns about Tylenol during pregnancy and how it might be linked to autism. An old Tylenol tweet from 2017 I found was recently resurfaced, and it kind of was going viral again. And the tweet read, from Tylenol, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant, which is pretty interesting. But back in 2017, that post barely made any kind of waves. And in today's climate, people went digging, they clearly found it, and now it's blasted everywhere. Well, suddenly, a stray corporate reply from 8 years ago becomes evidence of hypocrisy to some and proof of conspiracy to others. In other words, this tweet gained its power now, and fear and controversy is now having new life breathed into it. And yet, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists still say that acetaminophen is the main ingredient in Tylenol, is the safest pain-relieving drug for pregnancy if used at lower and effective doses for short times. The World Health Organization affirms there is no conclusive evidence linking Tylenol to autism. And the FDA, well, they're adding labels and new language suggesting a possible association of autism in some studies, but they're not advising women to stop necessarily using Tylenol or acetaminophen. Whatever you make of those facts, whatever you make of Tylenol and the ongoing studies, the reactions themselves that I'm seeing, I think reveal a bigger cultural story that we really need to talk about. On MSNBC, as an example, Nicole Wallace called RFK Jr.'s remarks reckless fearmongering that weaponizes parental anxiety for political gain. On Fox News, Laura Ingraham hosted a guest who described Tylenol as the next asbestos and urged viewers to stop trusting mainstream medical advice. And in the HuffPost, a columnist labeled the claim dangerous pseudoscience, comparable to anti-vax rhetoric, warning it could, quote, cause pregnant women to panic and avoid safe treatments. So within hours, the story is becoming really polarized. And fear-mongering, asbestos, pseudoscience, this is some pretty big language. The rhetoric here is probably louder than any kind of evidence of what's really going on with Tylenol or acetaminophen. Now, when it comes to fear, the human brain is wired to react and think later. The amygdala, a part of our brain, the alarm center of our brain, fires off signals the moment we sense any kind of danger, especially when the subject is something like pregnancy, children, or health. That's why so many people rush to extremes in some sense. Some of the panic... some panic while others swing the other way, posting defiant videos of themselves taking Tylenol while pregnant, almost daring the world to tell them otherwise. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it is absolutely insane. I saw a video of a woman saying, my kid's not going to have autism, and then just downing the Tylenol. And I'm like, how do you know that? Like, that's a big guess. What if you're wrong?
I'm never wrong.
Psychologists have a name for this kind of reactionary response. It's called reactance. It's an instinct that pushes back whenever we feel our freedom is under threat. But reactance doesn't stand alone. It's joined by something else called the affect heuristic, which is our tendency to judge risk based on how frightening something feels, not on what the numbers actually show us. And then there's this identity protective reasoning. It's a pull to align our beliefs with our tribe. Even when the evidence doesn't fully support it, or it does or it doesn't, we're not really addressing the evidence. We're just addressing, do my beliefs support my tribe? Now, together, these forces transform the conversation. It stops being about real science, and it starts being about, psychological survival, about which group we belong to, which side we're on, and how safe we feel in our chosen narratives. I think this is absolutely incredible. But it's not like new. I mean, we've been doing this forever. Even Kierkegaard, a famous writer and we'll say philosopher or theologian, describes self-deception as the sickness unto death, the human tendency to avoid hard truths because they make us uncomfortable. What we see here is cultural scale self-deception, rejecting or embracing claims not because of truth, but because of how they make us feel. Aristotle drew the same contrast. He said knowledge, Sophia, without practical wisdom, phronesis, is useless. You can have endless data, but if you lack proportion, prudence, and application, you steer yourself and everyone else who's listening to you straight into ruin. I mean, there's a sense of responsibility I feel like we all should have here, especially professionals in medicine and media, to be really honest and balanced in our experience. And that's what this moment illustrates, a society with unlimited access to information, but starving for wisdom. There's no wisdom in any of this stuff. This episode is brought to you by Voyage Counseling, the mothership of the Voyage Cast. Life has its ups and downs, and sometimes we all need a little help navigating the tricky parts. And that's where Voyage Counseling comes in. Our team of licensed therapists are here to provide support and guidance, helping you to gain clarity and confidence as you move forward. Whether you're working through challenges, improving your relationships, or focusing on your personal growth, Voyage Counseling offers care that's tailored to you. We're committed to making sure every step you take feels meaningful and manageable. And if you're ready to take that step, visit voyagecounseling.com to learn more or book your first session. You don't have to go it alone. And, by the way, we do take most major insurances. And here's where I think we gotta get a little bit more personal about it. Fear doesn't just distort public health debates, it poisons our relationships too. Think about marriage, which I do a lot because I work in it all the time. When a spouse hears something frightening, a medical scare, a financial strain, the reactions often mirror the ones we see in our culture. Some catastrophize. Everything's doomed. Others dismiss it. It's nothing. Stop worrying about it. Both are forms of reaction in some sense without a deeper sense of wisdom, and both will shut down trust. In my counseling work, I often remind couples, your feelings are valid, of course, but they don't dictate reality. Wisdom is what helps us pause long enough to ask, what's true? What's proportionate? How do we stay connected through this? That same principle applies to public discourse, at least in my opinion, it should. The Tylenol tweet isn't just about Tylenol. It's a case study in some sense in how fear resurrects old scraps of information, strips them of context, and feeds them into outrage machines. Now, I'm not just speaking about Tylenol. This could be anything. This could be memories or events from the past. But in our culture, what we're seeing is the media will amplify whatever it is. The tribes will polarize, and wisdom gets lost in the noise. But here's the thing, dude. Wisdom is the antidote. Wisdom slows us down. Wisdom asks better questions. Wisdom keeps proportion. And wisdom protects relationships. Whether those relationships are between spouses, communities, or citizens and institutions. So here's my challenge for you guys. For you listeners out there who are interested in your own personal development, your own personal growth, and your own mental health. The next time you see an alarming headline, a viral tweet, or even hear something unsettling from someone you love, pause. Don't just react. Remember, and some of you who know me will understand when I say this, the first step is we got to self-regulate. So we don't just react. We don't just rush to outrage. We seek wisdom. Because wisdom is what turns raw information into understanding, and understanding ultimately into love. All right, well, that's all I have for you today on this, but I thought I needed to address some of these issues that we're seeing in the culture because I see them as a parallel in our relationships. So thank you for joining me again on the Voyage Cast. Until next time,
May the Schwartz be with you.
And don't forget
to like and subscribe to the channel.
And hit us with 5 stars. It keeps the algorithm overlords happy and helps spread the good news of our content.